So my tablet shows that now is a good time to reset.
Yeah.
That's usually how it works.
You know, I thought I reset it last
Eat
night.
up that time that I'm going to be here.
No, we can get started. Alright, so.
I was going to say, can we start with a recap? Because I don't remember.
I was going to start with the recap.
Okay, thank God.
I do not remember.
I remember
Do you not take
nothing.
notes? You had a powerful rant against racism.
Oh, yeah!
Me and Taurus had a bonding moment where he knew he now knows. Alright, sorry, yeah.
So, last session began. You had finished your first encounter within the tower. Suddenly, a Goliath came walking through the mist down the road and met up with you. You had some jolly good times ripping off a door, and eventually decided to take a second attempt inside the tower. Fought a lot of hands. Fought a thing, the undead thing. But and once you had finished all the combat, you had also, some of you had seen this shadowy figure, but that escaped your sight and you couldn't find it again. But at the top of the tower, you found an unusual device, which Taurus here had figured out was a clockwork device, and it was a. Why am I spacing out on words all of a sudden?
Pocket watch?
Pocket watch. I do not know why I'm spacing out on this, but yes. And then Fenris went back and retrieved the pendant that the
creature
that
the creature dropped.
The gas.
Oh, yeah.
It was gas.
And he was able to, he rolled like a 20 on figuring out what it was, and learned that it was a pendant of wound closures. And
Ain't never gonna die. You guys can't get rid of me.
upon trying to figure out if there was anything else going on with the tower, suddenly the world outside became darker. Well, first what happened was you both started shouting Bashir's name, and you did it at 3 times volume. Then you were suddenly the tower was suddenly surrounded by shadowy figures, and
I made a map.
True, I was getting to that. The fog was getting darker, and Taurus figured out the puzzle just in the nick of time to crudely draw a map on a piece of paper from the desks that were lighting up on the first floor by candlelight. The world went black, and you woke up back on the path you were initially camped at, a bright sunny day. The Taurus felt his current reality was no longer true. Fenris, for the first time, pulled out the book and wrote down some questions. Mundi, I don't really remember I think you were just...
I was there.
I don't remember your reaction. I just remember Skull was just happy with the current reality of the bright sunny day.
I was there, so that's it.
We're just enjoying the nice day.
Yeah, that's all you needed.
Upon which Fenris finally asked for Mundi's name. And
that's what I did. That was my character development. I gave out my name finally. So. Yeah.
It was like the first time in how many games?
Well, he was only here for
No, I mean in any games.
Normally everyone avoids it except me. But, yes, for the first time, Fenris wrote in the questions in the book, and you all continued traveling. You met a merchant on the way who had... I have the thing written down, but I can't read it at the moment. He had a copper-colored skin and light brown hair with hazel eyes, or seemingly hazel eyes. You didn't really get a good look at it, but he sold you an unusual amulet that he said you needed due to some new treaty in town. You eventually arrived in town by several days later. It was nighttime. Met up. You went to the guard post as requested by the merchants. Skull got in a heated verbal arguments, and afterwards, Taurus and Fenris had a powwow moment where Fenris revealed that he had known about your orcish ways. During this time, Mundi went out and fetched food, spent the last of his money on it. Found you, came back, found you all, and you had your feast and were off to an inn for the night. The inn he found was, as I previously described with the town, it's this giant, enormous tree like a size you've never seen before. It's so large that the roots are coming out of the grounds, and the houses and buildings are built into the roots, and essentially the roads are the gaps in between the roots. The inn he found, he led you to. It's called the Rosemary Inn. And upon going inside, behind the counter, there is a human female working the counter, and she tells you that, she sees that the four of you are together and first asks if you would all like a room by yourselves or grouped up, or however you want to create a sleep arrangement while you're at the inn. But in the end, she says the price for the four of you to stay for the night and a meal in the morning would be 3 gold total if you stayed at this inn.
Unrelated to this, Joel, I parked on the other side of the ground.
Yep.
Anyway, back to...
Yes, are you each wanting your own room, or are you wanting to double up? Doubling up could reduce the price from 3 gold to 2 gold and 5 silver. That's
Will Scully stay in a room, or is he just gonna sleep under his doors?
That's a good question.
A door that them do have.
Is it nighttime right now?
It is currently nighttime
I'm
outside.
gonna go outside and dig a hole.
Yeah, I don't got any money, so I have to sleep outside.
I'm just saying, if you collectively paid for the rooms together, since you're a group.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we could throw in some gold and cover you, although we don't really have that much either.
No, safer choice.
Sleeping
outside is not gonna be that
Turn
hard.
into ingots and sell it? Or...
No.
Yeah. You give you this valuable mineral, and you're not gonna...
It's mine.
I know.
I
knew
lived
you-
my life as a
You're a rogue, no
nomad
matter what you
the
play.
entire time. No, the night's not gonna hurt.
So Skull's planning to stay outside.
I'm gonna stay outside. I'm not gonna make them use their money on me.
Yeah, I guess.
You could also attempt to find a cheaper inn if this is not to your price range.
I mean, Skull's gonna sleep outside no matter what.
It's true.
I guess
He's
let's
just going to be rolling to see if he picks up like parasites and things.
There's already going to be something happening in Skull. So
He did eat a heart. That's not healthy, man.
Now Skull has hot
He
worms.
ate multiple hearts. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
there's a few other things going on other than the hearts.
Yeah,
So,
there is. I guess let's just chill outside, or you want to get a room here?
Sleep in comfort. If you guys have the money, you use that money.
I'll say
Sleep well, eat well.
Yeah, but like I don't really want to like split us up, especially since this town is super racist against orcs.
Well, I'm not
So,
wandering real far away. I'm going to literally walk out the front door and...
I'm not necessarily worried about you. I'm more worried about leaving Skull outside on his own. 'Cause I don't trust these guards here. They seem to have their own. Yeah.
So he wants Skull to like go to sleep with the classic Sleeping Beauty stance.
he is a pretty
trying
boring.
to make lean-tos right outside the inn.
Just every so often pucker your lips and just like...
Let's just rip some bark off this tree.
Well, while you're
Use
deciding
it.
that, I just want to quickly make sure I knew everybody's
I'm
languages.
going to be determined. I'm going to barrel into this thing.
Common and Orc, is that correct?
In Dwarven.
Dwarven.
I'm a smart boy.
Oh. Okay. And Riz, what were your languages?
Common, Infernal, and Sylvan.
So you know Infernal and Sylvan.
Yeah, I lived in the woods and I'm a freaking
Yours
thief.
were
Common,
common.
Elvish, and Orcish.
You're going to be like the only one who can talk to most people.
What?
I have Elvish.
Taurus, he's the
Oh.
only one with Elven.
I'm an orc.
All
He's an
things-
elf.
Just saying.
All I'm saying is, as soon as I get the chance to learn Vessel, I'm learning it. That way I can get this fucking HP Lovecraft shit on the roll.
Yeah!
I know you have like 5 languages.
Yeah. Common, giant, orc, dwarven, and goblin.
If you're intelligence.
Where is my
Dwarven.
12, but it's perks and stuff that I take.
Oh,
It's the specific type of thing I get bonus languages. for
Common, giant, orc, dwarven, goblin.
that. Yeah.
Alright, back to the sleeping situation. Skull's staying outside. Mundy's not buying his own room, because he can't.
No, I'm staying outside.
So outside currently.
Oh, heck yeah.
I'll go out and I'll sleep by Skull. I'll see if I can.
Taurus, are you going to join your band of outcasts outside?
Well, my people around here.
Well, she seemed a bit surprised that you came in and muttered to yourselves and eventually just walked out. in the order of Skull, Mundi, Fenris, and Taurus.
I'll say thank you for your time.
Don't be bored.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, bye, Cat. Came out, looked around, decided it's not where I want to be.
Too many people, nope.
Alright, so you all go find... Can't really find a tree, because there's only one tree here. But you are able to find... Well, make a perception to see how quickly it takes you to find somewhere out of people's way.
That's an actual 20.
Rotorus quickly
I rolled a 19.
leads you in the direction of a place that isn't blocking any doorways. There's an open patch nearby, and you're able to you can set up a camp here, or just however you wish to set up your night time.
I'm going to lead you.
Now, being outside again, you do notice that when you look up into the sky, it is very dark, as there's leaves and branches blocking the night sky. You can't see any stars or even the moon out in the sky.
Clearly ended.
Puff got chubby, didn't you?
Huh?
Puff got chubby.
Close.
Close.
He got chubby, yeah.
Yes, don't know if you want to do shifts or if you're just all going to sleep at once.
We're still on the borders of the town, right?
You are still within the town, yes.
I don't
Well,
trust
these guys have
people,
been pretty douchey, though.
I'm gonna go over before we just leave Skull out there. I'm gonna knock on his door halves and I say we're gonna camp. We're moved over in an out of the way spot. You want to move?
Oh.
He already
The effort was already put into the hole.
He begrudgingly gets up and drags his
Where
door
did you
along.
dig this hole at?
Literally, like, right next to the end.
Perfect.
That's not
guards.
That's
Guards
not
up
any
tomorrow.
guards.
We're
It's
gonna
like-
get in a fight right here in this town, guys.
It doesn't
That's
matter.
it.
They can't put it on
It's
us.
gonna happen
We're not even
quicker
going
than I
to be there
planned.
We were never there.
because of their negligence and
Guards are gonna come out tomorrow. So
So-
somebody tried to dig a shallow grave and I guess gave up.
Mhm.
So let's just square heads along the lines. Somebody tried to put a piece of plywood over it.
So, how many watches and who's going to take first?
I'm gonna sleep and not say anything unless somebody hands me a watch.
I'll
You have
take,
a watch.
I
I'll
do!
take first watch.
How can we hand you something you already have? Oh, no.
Take it out and hand it back. I'll take first watch, though. I don't
I'll take
trust
the
these
middle,
people.
as always.
Taurus, are you going to take a watch?
So I took the middle one usually, right?
Yeah.
Well, Monday just called middle, unless
No,
you
I
guys
was
want
always
to do
taking the middle. You
fisticuffs
took
over it.
last.
Oh, okay. Was I last?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that then.
I don't know, I'm asleep.
I mean, I'm not going to fight you over it. If you want middle, I'll let you have middle. So
I'm gonna fight over it.
you said you'll fight over it?
Yeah.
All right. To arms. Here we go.
Alright, rock, paper, scissors.
Paper, scissors.
Yeah.
Wait, are we doing rock, paper, scissors or rock, paper, scissors, shoot?
Shoot.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Whoever wants middle shift? They're fighting over the worst shift.
Got it. He has to do it now.
That's why I always go first.
Alright, you doing third then, or middle?
I'm getting middle. He said that I had. That which I don't know why we then fought over it and stuff. I was already middle
Perception
anyway.
for first watch.
That's why I was so confused. Oh.
Perfect.
I rolled
Oh.
a 1.
Oh.
We are.
So I'm pretty sure I just.
We are in. the
Well, you
clear.
see, Fenris, you were feeling pretty tired and eventually dozed off and forgot to wake up second shift.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Sorry, guys.
So,
We're all gonna be dead in the morning because they're just gonna kill
Well,
us
it
in
won't
our
bother.
sleep.
It won't bother us except for
Yeah,
not.
sweet child.
Mundy's gonna end up sleeping through his Taurus, you can roll something to wake up, or are we going to have you roll?
But I want to have an internal clock.
I was say when I kind of at the beginning and there's no
We'll do
internal clock and
perception
wake
since
up-
it's like a
wake up
sense
early.
of time kind of thing. Maybe you're used to waking up at this hour.
I think it would be by this point. We've been doing it for like a week and a half now. Nope.
Oh.
Total?
Can my orky senses tingle and me wake up anyway?
Perception, you said?
Yes.
That'd be 5.
Yeah, no, you end up feeling-
God handed you the watch.
But,
right?
Skull, yeah,
My orky survival instincts.
I'm going to roll to see the 20. I'm going to
Solve
roll
the
to
cat.
see if something happens, and you're going to roll to see if
Okay.
sense it happens.
See if you can sense a
I lived
knife
in a
going into your
swamp. Things
face.
happen, man.
Where'd the other fish go?
Oh, they're at bins.
So,
They're being
Yeah.
fish sat. Fish sat?
They're having a sleepover.
Yeah.
Oh, neato.
Skull, what was your perception?
No, I didn't do it yet.
It's like a combination of wolf and wolf.
You also rolled a 1?
No, I rolled technically 3 then. Not much better.
You all get a lovely night's sleep.
Oh, we needed
That's
it.
nice.
So,
This is freaking
before we
out.
get on to the morning events, this thing I had planned already, you each have a dream. And to make it random on who goes first.
So don't forget the random thing dice.
Well, roll on a d4 to decide which of you
Oh.
4 goes first.
Plus, I know. Goodness
Monday.
gracious. You're freaking out.
Yay,
You
my
are having
faith's on
a
it
pleasant
first.
dream. What would your character consider to be a peaceful or pleasant type dream? Either a place you've been, a place in your
Women!
It could be women. It could be maybe
Well,
your
alright.
place of worship, just somewhere where your character feels comfortable.
Up on top of a mountain.
On top of a mountain.
Look
Would
like.
you like to add some details to that?
What's your dream? What's your
I'd
peace?
like to
all,
be-
he's with all the deceased brothers.
Oh.
The ones who die unless
Yeah, although.
He is the 14th brother.
You went to Valhalla?
Yeah. Suck it, guys. I got further than all you.
Describe your sanctuary as it would be.
I forgot to ask what half of giant are you? Are you like half hill giant?
He's a
half-
go.
No, I'm a Goliath and stuff,
Yeah,
so I'm a sub.
I
So.
forget about that. Yeah, that's its own little thing.
Oh, I'd be a whole lot taller and stuff if I was even
Full
just a
giant.
half giant or something like that. So,
I forgot how it was.
large plateau above the clouds on top of a mountain. No sign of vegetation anywhere. Just rocks. Lots of rocks.
Just rocks.
Just rocks.
Nice, delightful rocks.
Find yourself sitting
They're
in
my
this
family.
place. It's a peaceful dream. You're happy.
A galbader?
There's nothing bad going on. It's just a lovely dream.
You know what a galbader is?
No.
Skull, you're
Galbader.
next. Describe your sanctuary as you're
Oh.
dreaming about it.
Oh. Oh no.
It's gonna be hell.
It's the same question for everyone. I just wanted to.
He's I'm gonna use the term galloping through a nice like meadow like marshland, free and running.
Free spirit.
Whenever he sees people, they just wave and smile at him and just continues on the way.
It's definitely not going to turn you later.
How
Yeah.
do you spell it?
I have no idea. It's just,
There it is.
I know
You're
it's
next
like
on the
galbader.
random die roll.
Because my phone
What is
keeps
your
wanting it to be
sanctuary?
gallbladder, but-
I'm
Hold
in.
on. I'll tell you if I
I'm in a great hall where a feast is happening, and my current compatriots are there. However, I'm towering over them. I am now tall.
Much like a goblin. The taller you are, the better.
Yes.
And mighty tones.
That'll be his wish if you're a good one.
And that leaves you, Taurus. What is your sanctuary?
My character finds himself back in his town where he grew up as a sewer dweller, but being hailed as a hero, showing his face to everyone, and everyone appreciates him.
Well, he's
And off in the distance, he sees a silhouette, unfamiliar yet somehow familiar at the same time. He thinks it may be his parents.
Well, actually, you see
No
three
wonder.
figures, but yes.
Go on.
Well, there was your mother,
there,
your
so-
father, and the mother's holding an infant.
Ah, yes.
It is morning.
Right.
Mundi, Retoris, your shift never came about. What is it?
It's a Galder.
Okay, and why are you showing the rock monster?
Because I made the joke that I was surrounded by all my friends and family of the rocks, so...
I only know what a Galder is because someone tried to, like a bard tried romancing a rock and it turned out to be alive and it was a Galder. and he romanced it.
It was a whirlwind romance, if you...
The group wakes up after
like
having a
romance.
peaceful dream, and you're waking up and you're kind of like surrounded by guards as they're staring at you, laying in the middle of town, as it were.
In the middle of it.
We specifically said outskirts.
I did roll a natural 20 for finding the ideal place.
And then the town suddenly moved a couple...
It's like a whole
We're
quarter
back
of
by
a thing.
the inn. What happened?
Yeah, I suppose, and then...
This place wasn't as exclusive as what you might.
Well,
These
We
guards-
actually set camp in front of like 6 people's houses and they're really pissed off at us.
roll a different event then.
I mean, it's hard to tell. It's a giant tree, kind of like everything's around it.
It's true.
Well, you had... Then in that case, you had found a successful place to hide out that wouldn't have caught any wandering eyes. But
I mean, regardless, I'm in a hole in the ground. People can't see me right now.
There's doors open.
Yes, they do have the door.
Where'd the orc go?
You're just
so
a
instead of
breed.
waking up to the side of guards, you just wake up. You're surrounded. You're covered by the
Surrounded.
surrounded by leaves.
Oh my god, the tree is trying to consume us.
So nothing bad happened in the night then.
Well, something bad did happen. Somebody didn't wake me up.
Yeah.
Somebody didn't wake me up.
You guys want to talk about that?
It was really his fault.
Yeah, no, it cycles back around it.
I'll poke my head out my lean-to. It's like, look at you. Are you awake yet?
Yeah.
All right. So did you just like do the watch all night?
No, I never got woken up.
Really?
Just snoring over here.
Are you awake?
I guess I am now.
I'll go over to use for shame.
This place is really peaceful, guys.
Very, very, very bad. So,
They can't be letting that happen again.
somebody could have died.
It's true.
Tell me about it.
All right, I'll do my morning ritual, going over to Skull's doors and knocking on them. Morning.
And as you know, it is morning, but there's kind of daylight, but there's still this huge amount of darkness above you from the leaves. But they're visible now. You can tell it's daylight, but it's very shady.
This place must suck whenever it gets to autumn.
I really like how your doors still creak, even though they're not attached to anything. That's the enchantment that's actually on. It's not even anything to do with the freaking undead. It's just they'll always creak.
It's just actually Skull making the noise.
It's just the sound a door makes. It all mimics it.
We ripped off with the hinges, you know.
Well, you're all awake. What are your plans for the day?
First, I gotta do my stuff to get my spells back.
I will ask Skull, like, Skull,
you don't-
maybe
it only takes you a
make
few
one
minutes.
of those or both of those into, like, a weapon. Make him hit harder.
He thinks it's tempting, but he does like his doors.
But you can keep one door, so, or one half of the door. This is like a really wide door. You'll still be able to sleep under it.
And carrying both around in their current state is quite cumbersome.
Who wants the side with the hinges?
Okay?
So,
I
you
think so.
say
You
that,
want
Skull? Are you
to say, do you want to find a blacksmith?
He nods.
Just every time you swing it, it's still gonna make it.
He still makes the noise.
He holds it by the hinges so that it just flops and makes them.
Alright, so I guess now we'll begin our journey to find a blacksmith.
There's no way to gather information, so I guess make an investigation check.
Is everybody making this?
I'd
We all
say-
teaming up?
Well, you're all new to town, so if you...
Well,
feel
we
the need
decided
to-
what we're gonna do. You probably heard us since we're all together. So
Yeah.
if you want to come with us,
Her
Free.
Skull. And
It's
is
13.
nodding.
well, yeah.
You're not really talking to him.
Well, yeah, but they heard him. I'm sure.
I'm a well-spoken orc that's pretending to be an elf.
So yeah, I wanted to double check something. You said, since you're currently clothed, you said you gave off the appearance of an elf?
Yeah, because I have the, mostly pointy ears. If you're actually having, my mask cover off, they'd be a little shorter than a regular elf's ears. And just, from here up, he just looks like an elf. The only way you can really tell he has any orc in him other than a skin color is he has a slight underbite with little tiny tusks.
And what is your skin color? Because Skull's
Sage
over
green.
here is pale color, correct?
So I'm kind of a sage.
I'm
color.
covered in mud, though.
Oh, yes.
Sage. So it's kind of a bluish green.
Right. Just wanted to clarify that for if you ever got revealed. So, what were the two of you planning to do? Joining these two, or got a picture?
I think we should gather more information
So
from the
handsome.
town about surrounding areas.
17 colonists. Come on.
So the way to do that would be to go to like a tavern or something, but not drink.
Not drink.
Potentially take advantage of who's looking for people playing games and stuff like card games and stuff, and while you're doing that, then kind of
Alright,
make small
yeah.
talk to get the information from them.
I'm down for scamming some people. That's what
Oh,
you're talking
no.
about, right?
I would like to ask a quick question.
Chaotic neutral.
He knew what the question was.
I don't remember.
I mean, and I openly said it was to gain knowledge. My god is the
Not-
god of knowledge. So,
By the way, what was your god's name? I asked that and didn't get an answer.
oh crap! Do you have your player handbook on me because I didn't write it down on my sheet?
What's your neutral good?
I'm chaotic good.
Oh,
You're still chaotic.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure you weren't like lawful good or neutral.
Yeah, breaking the law,
Neutral good
breaking
might
the law.
do it.
You'd have to explain it more, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not planning on stealing all these people's money, taking them for what they're worth. It's more just to find out information, but
And actually get some
contribution to the
finances
faith.
yourself.
possibly I do need
Just
some
wanted to
finances.
double check. But yes, so the two of you are going to go off camping. You will still need to make an investigation check to find somewhere to do this.
That's fine.
I got a 16 for my investigation, by
Of
the way.
course.
I had 13.
Interesting.
Okay. I guess we'll start with the two going to the blacksmith first, since they made their plan first.
Yeah, jerks.
It's fine.
While the two of you are walking around town, you're getting a better sense of the population of this town. Well, all four of you will get this, no matter what. You get a better sense of the population of the town. You notice there's a large amount of humans, half-elves, and some standard elves mixed in between. And you're hearing the chatter of the town. For the life of the three of you, being Skull, Finriz, and Mundi, you can't understand a look of what they're saying. Taurus, on the other hand, is able to understand the common chatter going on in the world as they are speaking the Elven tongue. Everyone, including the humans.
The calling us freaks. Right?
You said what now?
Said the calling us freaks, right?
Not yet. I was getting to that. It's just normal chatter right now. How's your day? It's fine. It's a bit shady, but fuck it.
Again.
Hmm?
Again. God of knowledge here.
So, as the two of you are off to find a blacksmith, you begin conversing with some of the local. They take a sudden. By the way, Skull, did you choose to have that amulet visible at all? Not necessarily around your neck if you didn't want to, but is it visible on you?
I don't remember if I put it on or not.
I think you
Yeah,
put it on.
I think you were holding it around, but
Oh yeah, you
You
were
had
holding
it,
it after
yeah.
you carved it. You never said what you did with it after that.
He probably just tied it to one of his bands or something.
yeah, as long as it's visible, they still react surprised to see, because orcs haven't come into town as often ever since this treaty was passed. But they're still taken back. You can tell there's some fear in their eyes. Something recent's been going on to cause an unusual amount of fear within the townsfolk. But anytime they speak, they are speaking directly towards Ratoris as they figure him to be of elven descent based on his current appearance. And at first
I
they
don't speak Elven.
They
so-
initially speak in the Elven tongue and are none surprised whenever you can speak it back. And you ask them questions upon where you could find a blacksmith, and most of them are suggesting the blacksmith on a start. In elf's names. Anastriana. She
Is that an elven stripper?
Hell yeah.
She has been praised as the most high quality of blacksmiths in town. There's also some others that there's especially one known for having cheaper prices. But if you are wanting quality, you would seek out Anna. I said this so many times before I came over, so I would get it right.
It's usually how-
Anastriana. You would seek her out if you were wanting the best quality of smith in this town.
As I thank you for the information, and start heading that way.
Drag my
They
nose.
point you in a direction towards the west side of town.
Is it on the wrong side of the tracks?
Technically, yes, because the west side is more favorable towards the orcs than the east side.
Hey!
So,
When you're a jet for life.
yes, racism all the way.
Yeah.
While they're heading off towards the smith, the two of you, what were your investigation checks to find a gambling?
Perfect. Wait, investigation?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. 9.
5.
I'll come back to investigating this later. I have to go sell this bear pelt so I actually have funds for when we go and do this. Shazam. There we go.
Bear fight.
Yeah. One
Well,
of those
before
39s I had 'cause I'm
you
a
make that
so-
decision, the two of you also gathered the information about the locals and their population is human, half elven kind. Anytime you tried to have a conversation with any of them, there was a bit of a language barrier. But anytime they would try to talk to either of you, they would always look in the direction of Fenris first.
Rude.
Yeah. He's a Goliath. He's not an orc or anything. Are these people racist against all large creatures?
No, there's a different reason for
Nomads.
why their attention is more drawn towards you. If you want to
Yeah.
make an insight check.
Hell yeah, I do. Let's hope I roll good.
I can't look him in the eyes. So, whoa! No, that's interference.
There
that was
was
interference.
a barbarian intervention, if you would like to reroll.
Well, that's good because that ended up being a 1.
I can't do anything for you.
Hold on, let me see what I add to it.
You let me knock into that real quick and stuff so we can keep you in the room. See, it's different now. I mean,
What you said? Insight
Yes.
10.
A small child with her father kind of points out in common, because while Elven is a favored tongue, some do, most know the
I don't
common
ask,
language, they
I
just
just
prefer Elven. This small half-elf girl kind of points out how you are remarkably similar to a family that lives several days outside of town.
Oh.
My kind.
And upon her spouting that out, the father kind of apologizes for her bursting out and saying, "It's fine. We've heard very many good things about them. They've caused no trouble to the town at all." And
it's worrying whenever anybody looks at a tiefling and says, we've heard good things about others of your kind and
Yeah,
stuff. They didn't
I'm a
do
little
anything.
offended.
Don't move.
I'm offended, but I'm just gonna brush it off. I'm
it's
like,
almost
you know,
like you
it's
look
fine.
like
It's
devils.
whatever. I know, but
Could be a demon.
If you
There's
don't
a difference.
there's
I'll just.
That's
But,
our
yeah, you
Well,
were
that's not a
unsuccessful in finding a gambling pit. You want to try again?
Well, I gotta sell this belt first so I have the money so I can gamble.
Let me go talk to these
Sure.
people. How far outside of town are they? The other tieflings.
7-day walk.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, never mind.
Did you forget how long it took you to get here?
It took us a while.
I mean,
Well, when you say a little ways outside of town, I don't...
Several days.
That's
Several
Don't
days.
mind it.
Alright, whatever. Yeah, let's
It's like
friggin'...
at the end of episode, it's like, oh, fuck.
Let's try again.
That's how this is gonna go.
Well, he's looking for the gambling pit again, and you said you were going to try to find a place to sell the pelt.
I get
yeah,
so nervous.
because I have to have money, so I can't.
Well, you can both go ahead and roll your investigation again.
I say that, and I put my finger out in front of her, she just rams it in right into her eye.
Investigation.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
20.
Knowledge, which should be in
Jesus. 12.
Onward when it comes to finding a place to sell the pelt. Someone recommended a guild on the west side of town called Scouts of the Skull. It is a hunter's guild.
Do we have a guild?
Is that skull with an O or a U?
You
Doesn't matter. I'm interpreting it as your guild.
Anytime he hears skulls, he's just gonna look. What?
I'm happy with the doors.
You'll know you see the building, for there is their brand is on the outside of the door. It is a deer's head with antlers. A male deer's head with a buck. 12 pointed antlers.
It's all deer.
Yeah, that's a
Stag?
Yeah, stag would be.
at that point.
We'll go with the word stag.
Stag could also be applicable to a elk.
But when it comes to the gambling pit,
Numbers.
you hear if there was ever a place that you could try the marketplace, which is in the center of town. It's in this area in the base of the tree.
What's the guild called again? Because I'm going to tell him where I'm going to sell, so that way he does know. So.
Scouts of the Skull. A hunter's guild.
Sounds cool.
So
I'm gonna go to the marketplace and see if I can find some gambling. So once you get done selling your stuff,
I'll make my way to the guild hall.
Right. And back to Skull and Rotorus as you're traveling through the west side of town. As you're walking down the dirt path, you eventually come across this stairwell made into one of the. Yes.
I have two questions. One, how much attention is she drawing, or he drawing, dragging those doors? And two, do we see that captain of the guard?
You're not sure if he was a captain or not, but
Whatever it was.
you can roll perception to see if you can spot him at all.
That's a 20.
Right, and it's perception. So the way you perceive your journey towards the blacksmith is you're hearing just the common chatter of people walking down, but as you point out, the skull is
strawberries.
pulling these big heavy doors, and they're clanging against each other, making a lot of noise. So it's drawing attention towards him, and you hear the muttering like it starts to fall quiet into like hushed whispers.
Oh my god.
She didn't eat it.
But the further you travel,
No, it's falling
You don't
apart.
get another one.
But the further you travel into the west side, the less this happens. It just remains at their normal chatter. But definitely the closer you were to the center of the tree, there were more hushed whispers of the sight of an orc walking through town. But you're like getting near the edge of the west side of town now, and like they don't even mind at this point. But you do eventually find. As for the guard, I will roll to see if he was in the area.
That's right, you eat that strawberry.
He's dropping it.
You have yet to see any sign of this guard.
Alright.
And for that matter, you see guards every now and then, but some of them look in the direction of Skull. They take note of his amulet and just say no more. They just go about their business.
Alright.
So long as he is not causing a ruckus. You eventually find along one of the routes. You're at the point of the town now where you're leaving the shaded area and into the sunlight, and you see this stairwell along one of the routes. At the base of the stairwell, you see this sign with an anvil on it,
She ate it.
indicating that their
I had to bring
blacksmith
back a
is
small
up
piece of
this way,
but she ate it.
on top of the roof, whereas most buildings have been inside of the roots.
Only a little spoiled puss.
Alright, it's obviously a shop door, right? Not a personal house door.
The sign leads up, but you can't really see the building. You just know it's pointing to go up the stairs.
So we start making our way upstairs.
And upon going upstairs, you are now walking along one of the routes. And from up here, you can actually see, spread out from town, there are, every now and then you'll see like bridge-like structures made from one route to another, allowing for travel above the housings. But as you're traveling along this route, you do notice that there are actually some houses built on top of the routes instead. And as you continue down the path, you eventually get to this place. There's this tree growing out of one of the roots, like a normal-sized tree in comparison. And just beyond that, you find this housing, which again has the anvil above the door, implying that this is the smithery you're looking for. And as you are approaching it, you are hearing the sounds of metalwork.
Bang, clang, bang.
Yep. Cleaning sounds, someone's obviously working.
Alright,
And this area is bathed in sunlight.
I walk inside.
Skull, do you follow? The two of you go inside, you see the workshop within, there's the desk on the other side of this front room. Along the walls, you can see just weapons and armor about all kinds. Just pretty much any weapon you could think of, you can see in this room. And as for the armor, it's typically plated in chainmail, different types of metal. You don't really see any leather. You might see parts for leatherwork, but not leatherwork itself. And going up to the desk, instead of there being a bell like there was at the outpost, you instead see this metal chain next to the desk, and there's a sign written in 3 languages next to it. The first being Common, the second being Elven, and the third being Orc. And it just says, "Pull here."
I can read this 3 times.
Yeah.
Alright, I pull on the chain.
The chain is a bit heavy, but you are able to tug it, and it sends off this loud clang, and it echoes off into the back rooms. A few moments pass, and a female elf approaches from the back room. She sees the two of you standing there, and she greets you, saying, "Good day, how can I be of service to you?"
I say, yes, we happen to come into possession of a particularly uncommon material. I gesture towards the doors and say, we were wondering...
She looks towards Skull, and were the doors covered at all, or were they still visible on the metal?
No, they were not visible in the middle, because the one spot where you could tell what metal it was, I covered in mud. But we can brush that off.
I forgot that.
Mm-hmm.
I say, one moment, and I use my prestidigitation and clean off the door without the hinges.
Upon seeing the door, she lets out this audible gasp. There's a bit of excitement in her expression, and then there's a bit of concern as she sees how damaged the metal is, but the excitement outweighs it because, and she exclaims, "I've only seen a metal like this so few times. Where did you get it?"
Well, we happened to procure it from a unusual, kind of what was it?
ENT fellow.
I'm trying to think of what that kind of structure is called. The little short tower. It's kind of a fort.
I was just calling it a wizard tower.
Alright, it's a
Tower.
yeah. Just found it a small abandoned tower. It has. If you look closely here, I'll kind of point at it. It's like there's some scriptures to protect against undead on it, and that's what it was being used for, is keep these odd undead things inside.
She is very intrigued in you telling her this, and she's just kind of at awe at looking at it. She's like inspecting the metal, despite it being on Skull's back, and she's taking out this book and writing notes as she's examining this door. And she's yes, and how can I help you with this today?
So, first off, he wants to keep one half of this door, the one with the hinges.
He hugs the door.
Yeah. So, I stopped asking, but we want to take the other half and try to turn it into a weapon of some kind. Probably a club would be the simplest thing.
Well, it's quite damaged. And
So you think there'd be enough material here to make even a one-handed club?
she's taking a moment. She's getting some measurements. She's examining how much she thinks is usable and how much she thinks is too far gone. And she's like, if you give me 3 days' time, I can try and see if there's. I just could make probably about 3 ingots at least out of this metal. And with 1 ingot, I could easily make some type of martial weapon for you. But I do have to warn you, it would be a hefty cost. It's such a rare metal, and especially if you're wanting to keep whatever magic is upon this, I'll have to call an outside source to help.
Is they going to give us a ballpark estimate?
For the weapon itself, it'd be about 500